What's up, crew? Crypto Philosophers, episode 3. It's been a minute, man. It's been a minute since we filmed. Jay, Armand, November 15th, 2024. We got some incredible updates for you all. We're just going to converse and talk, but we want you guys to listen in, soak it in, and join the party, right? Speaking of parties.
Speaking of parties, guys, we look a little tired. It's because we had a great night. We went to a charity event last night. So it was for soccer.
Yeah, South
youth,
Bronx United. Your hood, man.
My old hood.
Yeah.
Boogie down, and it was great. It was great. We were there with one of his old friends and one of our investors. And then just after we said, let's just go to this little lounge. That turned out to be 5 a.m.
So yeah, man, South Bronx United. This was an amazing gala. We're always happy to, as is our mission with everything we do, including our crypto projects. It's about giving back and the community, and it's all connected, right? But in order to give back, you have to produce and have wealth and have innovation, right? Because how about that ticker, right? That was a good idea, right? They had the ticker in the back.
Yeah, they were showing how fast people were donating. You saw 25K, 10K. One dude donated 61,000.
Anonymous,
right?
yeah.
Anonymous.
Well, was that you? Might have been. Don't say anything, right? So, yeah, that was a good strategy. It's always a good strategy at a gala when they have that. And I think their goal was like 425K for the night, and they exceeded it. Got
quickly.
past that. But again, in order to give back, there needs to be an earning. So those people writing those checks are successful.
Doing well.
Entrepreneurs, business folks. The room seemed pretty full of, I know there was, different lawyers, doctors, entrepreneurs, pro athletes, because it was, a soccer-focused charity. So it was a good night, and we're excited because, we've got some big crypto events, or one big one in particular coming up. Why don't we get into Art Basel? I've never been there. You've been there before?
No. So, in New York, we usually have Fashion Week, right? That's like the big thing here, where there's just a ton of different venues and different organizations coming and having all different kinds of events.
Yeah.
Of course, you got the runway with the Victoria's Secret models. That's like very famous. But there's a lot of other things that happen during that week, and it's just endless events, parties. So Art Basel is a big event they have in Miami every year. I don't know how long they've been doing it, but it's
been
definitely
going for a while.
People know.
It is the who's who event for art and creativity, which is very cool for crypto because of NFTs, right?
Exactly.
And digital art. We've got a project obviously with Blue Whale. We do want to talk about that, but here it's exciting that we have a time frame and that our team's cranking. And I'm really curious to see what other NFT projects. Let's talk about it a little bit. Like ordinals. Let's jump into the details of what's going to happen at this event. And it's cool that we're going to be filming our next episode likely, and multiple episodes at that event. So let's get into all that.
So Art Basel is every kind of art, right? And you have the main event is at the Miami Convention Center. I believe they also have they'll have art installations throughout the city.
Yeah,
so if you're driving around the city, you can see all these different sculptures and whatever different types of art they have. And then of course, for us, being crypto philosophers, we're interested in the art that's in crypto, which is mainly NFTs, right? And I've been looking into the ordinals just because they're gonna have their own little event at the show. So for those of you who don't know what ordinals are, the founders created it last year. So maybe like a year ago, someone figured out a way to inscribe art into Satoshis. So everyone knows Bitcoin, right? But a lot of people don't know that one Bitcoin contains, I think it's 100 million units make one Bitcoin.
Right.
So it's Satoshis. That's why you see
that's
the
like the
0.0000.
Right, got it.
Yeah. So somehow someone was able to inscribe on every one of the Satoshis some unique number or something like that, and then that forms together into some sort of art, and it's like pretty much locked in and impermeable. You can't change it.
So it's an NFT, but it's just
NFT,
like not a Polygon NFT or Solana NFT.
It's on the Bitcoin
ordinals.
blockchain. It's on the Bitcoin blockchain.
It's a Bitcoin ordinals NFT, and so they're having their own conference. So it's going to be that's going to be super techy.
Yes.
It's going to be.
Well, I want to learn more about it too, because that's the best I can explain it.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot deeper way to explain exactly what they're doing. That's just the elementary level.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to be with those guys.
And let's have, so during that one day, is that the Thursday, December 5th?
I think that's the Thursday in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's the day we're
Yeah.
going to have our setup and studio over there. We might also film, and we'll talk about the new show a little bit as well. And if we can get Drita out there, also great.
That'd be great.
But we'll be filming all day. And, some of those guys that we do know, some of the folks going, others we're seeing them, we're going to meet them. We're going to be at these private, this is an invite-only event, so it is kind of the who's who in the crypto space.
But we did talk about this, and I think we should
Yeah.
do it. Talked about maybe, because we got a certain amount of tickets, right?
Yeah.
So I think we should maybe raffle off or do some sort of contest.
Yes.
So some folks
Yes.
can, get into this event, because you can't just buy them, right?
Right.
And it's a very exclusive event. From we were talking to one of the co-founders. It's called Nolcha Shows, Nolcha, Nolcha Shows. We'll be, putting it up on all of our social soon.
Absolutely.
And it's just a lot of like all the heavy hitters. And I think it's more than just crypto. It's mainly crypto focused, but there will be some other forms of art there that keeps talking about.
Yeah,
too, right?
and also there's going to be like the people, like the investors. He said like last year they had a bunch of like pro athletes and stuff. So it's going to be
yeah,
people.
He said the NBA team was like DJing.
Yeah,
one
the
of
Miami
party.
Heat
The
was
Miami
DJing
Heat.
for the party. Yeah,
So they were tired the next day, like we are now, because they stayed up too late
so
before the game.
so think about it. All the crypto people we're talking about. That's like when it's Fashion Week, to use that analogy. It's the fashion people on the runway, but then there's the audience that wants to come and watch and participate.
Right.
The celebrities, people that are interested
There's gonna be
in
a lot of celebrities
high
there.
fashion.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a great event. Entertaining, educational. We're going to be bringing to all you all and our family here, our pod. The best of what we see. We'll invite them over, impromptu, do some quick interviews. Get them in the chair. Ask questions, and just remember, the reason we decided to do this is because we want to be part of the bridge, part of the educational bridge. And now things seem to be pretty good in the market right now. It's always an up and down thing, but let's talk about the market a little bit. And I guess my question for you in this conversation is, so what happens now? Like when the market goes good and everyone's like, oh, like people just think like, I want to invest, and that's good because they got to learn then how to open the accounts, and that gets more people in. So what, tell us about the market right now. Then let's talk about what we think that might mean for 2025 for like crypto and possibly onboarding more people to try to even get in, like get started. Because a lot of people still haven't gotten started.
What was great is, our last episode was a few months ago, right?
Yeah.
So at that time, I know we were showing the chart.
Yeah, you're showing your chart. You're
we
showing
had the
your
cup
bull
and handle
flag.
on the weekly chart, and also the bull flag on the weekly chart, which is spanning back like 3 years. It's a huge structure, which is just so bullish when you see something like that. Of course, you get the probability that it could go down, but it's looking good. And whether it was going to be Trump or Kamala, we were going to see what kind of reaction happened. And when Trump won, the market just exploded, right? So we were able to break out of that cup and handle, and now I think we pumped from like 60K, maybe in the 50s, up until 93,000.
All-time high.
Just a few days ago.
All-time high.
And of course, we're consolidating a little bit, which is super healthy right now. But when you get that kind of a pump like that, then a lot of the big players that have huge positions in Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, whatever of the big dogs, they'll start looking now for places to park those profits, right? So they'll start looking at projects that are
Next tier.
yeah, different tiers down, and you start to see a lot of movement. Like a lot of people get excited when Bitcoin cools off because they know it's alt season.
Yeah.
It's meme season now,
Yeah.
really, right? Because most of the alts are memes.
Yeah, you've been saying this. You've been saying it,
for a long time.
and also this time of year that there's usually a general pump.
After an election,
yes.
6 months after the Bitcoin halving, it's like clockwork. Usually, this is what happens, and yes, it's happening. And this is an interesting phase now too, because it's really difficult to tell. A lot of times, you'll get a lot of people right now saying, "All right, that's it. We topped off, and now we're just going to go sideways for a while, and we're going to go into a bear market." Maybe, but things are so different now with because Trump's kind of pro crypto, right?
Yeah.
So that might change the landscape a little bit. People are like, a lot of investors are thinking that the economy is going to keep pumping for a while. So
Right.
everyone's just like game on, and then of course, according to the cycles, technically and also the structures of the cup and handle and the bull flag, we should be going up for the next 6 to 12 months, and anywhere between 150 to whatever 200, 300.
Yeah.
Nobody has any idea.
No one knows. There's a lot of predictions, and we've Bitcoin's never hit 100, and it's close now. So it'll be very interesting. I do believe, and would you agree that Bitcoin will probably see 100 before the end of this year?
Yeah, I would think.
At least hit it. It might hit it
before the end of
bounce.
November.
Yeah.
At this rate. I mean, we pumped up 30,000 in like a week. So
right.
Just what's another 10? I think we're hovering around 88, 89 right now, right? So.
Yeah. So and just think about that. Like what that means for the over. I mean, Bitcoin's always been about half to sometimes more than the overall crypto market. So overall assets in crypto was hit over 3 trillion for the first time.
It touched it, yeah.
It touched 3 trillion. Might be a little down now. So we're at 3 trillion. And we've been having this discussion with people like, I don't say like the believers or not, but people that just don't understand or aren't ready to go in or think it's a fad for almost 10 years now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
When we were like, oh, it's not even at 100 billion, so it's like, that's nothing in terms of assets. But now if you look at it, you can't ignore $3 trillion. That's not, I mean, yes, it's not stock market levels, and I don't know how much is in the markets, but 3 trillion is now, it's a slice. It's a slice of the asset allocation overall. And that's why BlackRock and all the ETFs and again, now with governments, even, in this past current administration, there's been approvals. There's been fights and battles with the SEC and all the big guys. And I know you met some cool people. We could talk about that.
Oh yeah, speaking of that, so I went to this event, I don't know, was it like a couple weeks ago, right?
Yep.
It was Anthony Pompliano's event in Manhattan. And it was great. I mean, he had everybody there, all these heavy hitters. See if I can find this. And
yeah, you made some good connections.
One of my favorite speakers. It was the guy from Fidelity Assets, because asset management. They have 14 trillion in assets under management.
That's it.
And
okay.
yeah, this was the crypto branch of it. I don't know what that is. The numbers are there, but still, I mean, so basically, what he was saying is that once the ETFs were approved, it started to open the doors for a lot of folks who have, they might have $1 million, $2 million, $5 million, $10 million in a portfolio, and they just call their broker and they're like, hey, I want to buy some Bitcoin now instead of just having gold or Apple or whatever. And he said that even though it was approved, there's still other barriers that need to get moved out of the way before a lot of that can flow.
Right, like technically or something. Yeah, so the money's actually not gone in yet.
Whatever. No, he said it hasn't gone in yet. At least that.
Right. Of
money.
their 14 trillion, even though the law's there, the mechanism in Fidelity for how to move that money into crypto hasn't been connected yet. So that the floodgates will really start opening there in 2025. Likely.
Yeah, he's thinking sometime in 2025, maybe in
Q1,
the summertime.
Q2. Okay.
Yeah. And then I met Brad Garlinghouse was up. He's the CEO of Ripple, which is the creator of XRP, right? It's, one of the top cryptos.
It's top, man.
Controversial crypto. Like some people love it, some people hate it, And it is a super fast blockchain. And they have a ton of liquidity. I mean, they were at 30 billion last time I checked. I don't know what they are now.
Ripple's like top 10.
And so he was talking about how much of a struggle he's had with the SEC. Just hammering him and coming after the company and everything. And then after I just pulled him aside and took a picture with him and was just saying, "Hey man, I appreciate you. You got some balls to deal with all that pressure, like to sell."
Yeah, being in court, being sued. They're trying to put, maybe put some guys went away, right? The guy from Binance went away.
Binance went to jail. People go to jail. They obviously they're breaking the law. He obviously hasn't because he's not going to jail. But there's these gray areas that regulators don't understand, what people can and can't do yet. So it just creates all this chaos.
Right, because then the exactly.
Clean up at some point. So everybody in the space knows what you can do and what you can't do.
That's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for. We have that going in our own projects.
Mr. Wonderful talks about that a lot. And he's like, guys, we need regulation.
Clear guidance so that people know, so that, let's eliminate the gray zones. And
exactly.
So that's cool that you met him. And it's awesome when a guy that's had that kind of success and is worth,
he's worth $9 billion.
He's a bill. He's a whale, right?
Yeah.
So, it's cool when someone like that, like, at the conference talking up, talking to anybody that's coming up, and I know you had some follow-up, so cool. So Jay, you were talking about this event, Pompliano and some of the guys, Ripple, cool.
Yes.
Who else? Any other cool folks there?
So yeah, there was the CEO of Tether, which is like, has,
Top 5, top 10.
I think it's number 2. It's
in terms
got
of assets,
so much liquidity. It's the first stable coin, right? It's on like every single exchange. So every pair is something with Tether, right? But he wasn't there. He was on a Zoom call.
Okay.
But the stuff he was talking about.
Oh, he came into the conference by Zoom?
Yes.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, just right on the screen, and the stuff he was talking about was amazing. I mean, he said they made $12 billion in profit last year.
Wow.
$12 billion in profit, dude. That's crazy.
That's incredible.
Crazy. So
that's incredible.
And of course, Brad Garlinghouse was there, and we had this guy, Pascal, which I took a picture with him too. I was talking to him from 3IQ Corp. He pretty much like pioneered ETFs in Canada. So he's like, and he's a big investor, and he was interested in some of the stuff we were doing. So I linked up with him on LinkedIn. I'll stay in touch with him. The head of institutional research from Coinbase was there, David Duong, if I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
He was super smart, super cool.
A lot of whales, man.
A lot of big people were here, man.
A lot of whales in the house.
People from Grayscale, people from Ledger, C Labs, SEI Labs. There's a couple. There's SUI. There's like a couple of different ones. So making sure that's clear. And some other names that I wasn't so sure about, but people from Ava Labs, Solana Labs.
So let's make sure to link up with those folks. Let them know where we're going to be in Art Basel in 3 weeks, and that we're going to have an open studio, and we want to have we want to have little clips. We want 10, 15 minutes with some of these whales and industry experts, so we could bring that to our audience, and that kind of cues up for all the whales. I mean, like Elon Musk been talking about Doge and Bitcoin and all this, like pro crypto for a long time, and now
that's amazing.
You think that happened by mistake? That now he's in charge of a division called Doge? I mean, that's like, dude, how perfect is that?
Can't make that up. I mean, he's the original. He's the one that made Doge go to the moon the first time.
Yeah.
In the last cycle by going on Saturday Night Live and saying Doge go to the moon, right? And then now he names a Department of Government Efficiency.
Department of
Government Efficiency.
Efficiency. Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy. So now, because he's named it Doge and he's saying Doge, I think Dogecoin just 4x'd in the last 2 weeks.
Incredible.
This is the power of big influencer, richest guy in the world, right? And pro crypto. So we need him to say blue whale.
He's
and
the
crypto philosophers.
Elon, you're the ultimate blue whale, man. You're the ultimate blue whale, the biggest creature, on the planet.
That's a good point. We should send him something.
Whale pod, man. Whale pod. So, you supported Doge, hopefully come in and support Blue Whale.
We should send him some tokens.
Why not?
Let's give him some tokens.
Why not? Why not? Yeah. Come be on the show. And so these whales, like the people you named and Musk and others that are obviously pro crypto, we want them on the Crypto Philosophers. And it's a good segue that at Art Basel we'll be launching, as if we need another new thing to be involved in, but the Whale Pod.
Got to have a lot of irons in the fire.
Listen, the Whale Pod is a great idea because it's, I'd say it's our version of the Shark Tank. It's not just going to be about crypto ventures, but entrepreneurs. And it's our chance to, showcase ideas and ventures that we think are interesting. We're not just going to obviously bring anybody on. We're actually, just for the audience to know, we're actually doing our first pilot later today and filming a promo after this with our in-house home team. The Blue Whales will be our in-house crew, and then we'll have guest whales on the show. It could be different folks, like who the guys were talking about. Hey, you want to come in and like you said, the guy popped in off Zoom. We'll be doing half Zoom, half live as well. And I think Art Basel's the perfect place for us to also kind of like formally launch that show. I mean, we could film some promos and stuff.
Yeah, it's a good
and
idea.
then over there, it's like we'll have our first series of interviews. So, I just want our audience to know and stay tuned for that.
Are we ever going to have Drita on the show?
Why not? Why not? How funny would that be?
We should have Drita on the show.
Think about like, I don't watch these shows, but I know they're popular where they have like American Idol, and like then there's a bunch of them, right? Like the next singer, the next star, and what makes those shows is the judges. The judges are like usually celebrity singers, and
Voice was another one, right?
Yeah, The Voice. So it's like there'll be like one host, but then a few celebrity judges basically for the season, right? And that's usually what makes it, as well as the talent. So that's our concept for Blue Whale. It's going to be like us as like the core guys that people know and see, but then like, hey, we've got Brad from Ripple. I mean, just making that up.
Right.
We could ask him. We've got Rocco. We've got Cena. Like whoever wants to come in.
Anybody who's a whale, right?
And you mentioned Drita, so okay, yeah, we got Drita, and especially if the pitches are things in their field, like it's entertainment, it's someone pitching a new reality
TV
show,
yeah,
or something like that. Then you want to we'll be bringing the whales in that accommodate that market, like athletes. We know a lot of like sports related people and high level athletes and executives, and we can have them in if someone's pitching some like sports tech kind of thing. So it's gonna be fun, man.
I like it. It's a good idea.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. The whale pods. So, hopefully everyone comes on along with us for the ride. Again, we're here to educate, inform, and help build this bridge. I think 2025 is going to be like the bridge year. I feel like I don't know.
Yeah, it's lining up nice.
What that means exactly, but I'd say, and again, I'm not in the prognostication business, but I think assets for crypto is going, by the end of like a year from now, it's going to be double or more than what it is now.
I think
conservatively,
we're headed to 10. We're headed to 10 trillion
Yeah.
by the end of this cycle.
Yeah.
And then we'll, in the next bear market, which there always is, we'll consolidate back down to maybe 5, with like half of it.
Yeah.
That'll be potentially the bottom of the bear. Maybe we'll even get back to where we are now, like 3.
So that's so that's cool, because that's on the numbers side, and that means more people are coming in. But give me one or two things you think about, like, and this will be the last I think we talk about today. How's it going to change in people's day-to-day lives, right? Because like you still can't like go to the store and pay with Bitcoin, but you can like with Venmo and Cash App, like, you know what I mean? Visas, investing. So like, how do you think day-to-day life and movement and flow with crypto might
I got a perfect
influence?
example,
Yeah.
actually. EcoWise.
Yes.
Right? So it's a great point, right? Because it's true. And I'm pretty sure that Zelle and all those, like they're using some form of blockchain, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
if I'm sending you $100 on Chase for free, instantly, I don't know any other technology that can do that, right? So they're obviously using something at the bank. So we don't know. It's just happening in the background, and we get to benefit from it. Bitcoin, because it's older and slow, it's really being used as a store of value. Some people say that's impossible because it's so volatile, right? But you have to look at it in the long term. It just keeps going up. And even when it has its bear market dumps, it's still ratcheting higher and higher every time.
Yeah.
Right. So these guys like Michael Saylor, who are buying billions and billions of dollars in Bitcoin, I remember he was buying it at like 50 or 60, in the last cycle, and then it dumped down to like 25, 30, and people were laughing at him, and he was laughing the whole time. Like, you guys don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't care what the price is right now,
'cause
because
he has
this
enough-
is a 5-10 year
Yeah.
investment for me. And when now he's laughing like, guys, it's at 93. So I bought it at 50, 40, 30. I bought it all the way down and all the way up. Like, he's probably still buying more right now, because he just sees that it solves a lot of problems, and it just has that first mover advantage. I mean, because you could technically use Ripple XRP as the store of value, but it just doesn't have that initial. I mean, Satoshi, the whole creation of the white paper. There's just a big
It's the original. It's the
energy
OG.
behind
Yeah,
it. So
yeah.
that's digital gold now, right?
Yeah.
Everyone,
Right.
like any money, we all say this is what it is now.
Right.
So that's what it is. But now when it comes to how are people going to benefit from blockchain and crypto, cryptography, I have a project coming out. A friend of mine asked me to, because I've been in the space since 2017.
Yeah.
I know crypto like in and out, and a lot of the culture too. And he's like, hey, my friend who I went to Brown University with, he's been a commodities trader on Wall Street for years. Then he got into cocoa, actually like raw cocoa, purchasing, in Africa, and Nigeria, and Ivory Coast, and he raised about $30 million and bought 2 processing plants. He's trying to like change the way it's done, because a lot of the farmers are getting kind of the short end of the stick. They're just not being treated well, getting these really high interest loans, because there's certain seasons when they have the cocoa, and then there's nothing, so they need to survive and pay their bills, and they're just not making enough money. So he's trying to now create like a Uber, Airbnb kind of version for them, so they'll be able to have more access to like really good rates and loans, and then we're going to be putting the the cocoa on the blockchain. So it's almost going to be like every time it hits a different area, you're going to be able to trace it. And it's immutable because a lot of people don't know this, but cryptocurrency, blockchain technology is basically like a public immutable ledger. It's like a spreadsheet that you can never change because you've got, let's just say that I sent you a spreadsheet in an email. It's like we have it, right?
You can delete it,
but if it's on 10 million servers, you're going to have to delete all those servers in order to change the data, like alter it.
So it's harder to hack too. It's like almost impossible.
It can be changed, but it's very difficult, right? So it's pretty much immutable. So we're going to be able to trace the cocoa from the farmer all the way until like we go to Starbucks around the corner and we buy that cocoa.
Nice.
And you'll actually be able to scan a QR code, and the farmer will pop up. You'll see his face and a little bit of his like where he's from, and
you could tip them.
You can tip them, and you can actually see the tip. So if you send $1 to that farmer, it's like a really big deal for them. It actually changes their life. And instead of donating to a random nonprofit where you don't even know where the money's going unless they really ask for it,
connection.
You're going to be able to look right in the blockchain and see, oh, it went right to this specific farmer's address, right? And there's a lot more to it. So that's one thing, right?
That's awesome.
That's one thing. So you've got that. Then there's the German government has now issued a new regulation where they're mandating commodities like cocoa and coffee have to be traced. You can't just play games anymore. So it's cool that this project is already kind of going to be following those regulations and appropriately. And then another thing which is really exciting for the crypto folks, which is good, is DeFi, right? So people want to be able to make interest on loans, and in DeFi a lot of times people don't even know like where's the interest even coming from. So in the original DeFi project, like the first real known one was YFI, Yearn Finance, created by Andre Cronje. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. Cronje, something like Cronje. And he created a way for when you buy and you sell a token, and taxes come out, and it just like keeps making the price go up over and over and over. That's actually still working. That project's still going. But then other people launched projects using the smart contracts to give interest, but it was like almost kind of like a pyramid scheme. Like if you got in early, you made money, but then it just fizzled out because they were giving these super high interest rates that like, where's it coming from? It's unsustainable. So with this system, what's unique about this is that the cocoa is actually going to be collateralized. So the loans will be collateralized by the cocoa. As soon as the cocoa gets dropped off, it's going to create something with a smart contract, and then people will put their money into the pool, and they can give the farmers loans. And it'll all happen automatically in the background. So this is kind of revolutionary.
Yeah, it's why ecosystem.
I won't be able to. It is an ecosystem. I won't be able to. We're not going to show the actual architecture because it's kind of proprietary, But what's cool is that the CEO, he did say, he goes, once we get it working, we'll kind of open it up, because he doesn't want to have a monopoly on it. He wants other farmers or other processors of raw goods to use this technology, because it's going to change all these people's lives. And he wants it to be, after we get it to work properly, he's going to kind of release it to the public, which I really like. Yeah.
No, it's amazing. So it's an infrastructure, logistics, technology, system that benefits people. I mean, it's not just like a B2B thing. It is to like get it working, but then it ends up benefiting people in the real world on both ends, the buying and selling side. So I love that. That's a great example. And I think on that note, I think we should wrap it.
Yeah, just one last thing about that is that this is the first time we're really allowed to talk about it.
Sure.
We have a white paper, but we're not sending it out yet.
Yeah.
We're still working on some things. And then there will be a round of funding available. So if people are interested,
when it's time,
reach out.
Yeah, and when it's time, when the team's ready, I suggest we, a little bit insider, but like we should have the CEO or somebody come in and pitch on the Whale Pod.
100%. We're going to want
at the right
him
time
on the show. Yes, and matter
the
of fact,
DR, whoever it is, you guys decide. It could be a couple people. It's just whoever it is. Let's do that when the time's right.
Yeah, we're going to be going to a lot of shows for that too. Yeah, so we're going to be going to a lot of events, not only for Blue Whale, but also for EcoWise too.
By Art Basel, hopefully you guys or EcoWise will be ready to pitch. Maybe come on there.
I hope so.
virtually or not. I
Yeah.
know they're not doing the sponsorship and all that, but like maybe just a pitch. You'll talk
If
to
we're
them
ready.
about it and figure it
Yeah,
out.
we're still working on some stuff in
If
the
not,
background.
that's fine. We'll do it in
Yeah.
January.
Exactly.
Everything is about timing, right, my friend? Just like all these, you can't force things in life and nature, right? And that's part of the philosophy. It's like no one forces, no one could predict, but we go with the vibes and we keep showing up, right? And that's the advice we always give everybody. Keep showing up, be consistent, be methodical, and good things come of
Nothing's
it.
guaranteed. There's just opportunity.
That's right.
That's it, right?
That's right. Words of wisdom from the crypto philosophers.
All
Thanks,
right.
guys. Peace out.
See you guys soon.